So many actors were almost cast in the Harry Potter series that we could have had a completely different franchise. Can you imagine Robin Williams as Hagrid? Or watching Hugh Grant in the Chamber of Secrets? Let's talk about it. Tilda Swinton was considered for the role of Professor Sybill Trelawney. It seems she'd be an obvious choice to put in the Harry Potter world because of her eccentric style and incredible acting skills. When she first turned down the role, she said it was for scheduling conflicts. Later down the line, the truth ended up coming out. She highly dislikes boarding schools and the isolation they inflict on kids. She actually said they were a cruel place to grow up and just couldn't get behind romanticizing such a place. Tim Roth has played some stellar roles, with many of them being antagonists, in movies like Pulp Fiction, Selma, and The Hateful Eight. Obviously, with all that under his belt, it's clear that he'd be one of the first choices for Severus Snape. Tim was super interested in the role and almost signed up for it then and there, but unfortunately, he was also interested in Tim Burton's Planet of the Apes remake. He even tried to make both roles work and create some super intense work schedule. Ultimately though, he just didn't have enough time in the day, and ended up filming the Planet of the Apes remake and passing on Defense Against the Dark Arts. This one I could totally see. Hugh Grant was offered the role of Gilderoy Lockhart. He eventually actively sought out the role and was always the first choice for it, even since his first round of auditions. Unfortunately, Hugh Grant ended up turning down the role due to some scheduling conflicts, so the producers ended up going with Kenneth Branagh, who truly did play the iconic Chamber of Secrets character perfectly. Still, I'm always curious about how the character would have changed if a different actor were to step in their shoes. Naomi Watts auditioned for the role of Narcissa Malfoy. The role really needed a seasoned actor. Narcissa, Draco Malfoy's mother, has a chilling presence that only someone really talented could portray well. The producers didn't want to cast just anyone. They were truly on the lookout for the perfect English actor to portray the character. Obviously, Naomi Watts came up in conversation. Interestingly enough, Naomi never even knew she was in the running for her. Her agent turned down the role on her behalf. Ian McKellen was offered the role of Albus Dumbledore after Richard Harris passed away, partly because he seemed like an obvious choice after his iconic portrayal of the other legendary wizard, Gandalf, in The Lord of the Rings. He's also an incredible actor, having won a ton of major awards, a Golden Globe, Laurence Olivier Awards, and numerous Oscar noms. So why did he turn it down, you ask? Well, Richard Harris had a bit of a part in that. Richard just didn't like Ian as an actor, so Ian didn't feel right about taking his role after he passed away because he knew that. Robin Williams was super into the idea of playing the role of Hagrid, but was turned down as J.K. Rowling had specified that all actors in the film should be British. Technically, it wasn't his decision, but I truly can't believe Robin Williams could have been a major role in Harry Potter. Would you be absolutely shocked if you saw Michael Cera in a Harry Potter movie? Well, that might have not been too crazy to imagine. He almost signed a deal to star in Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. And when it came to the actual Harry Potter series, American actors basically had to go on home because every actor had to actually be English in real life. But when Fantastic Beasts got into the picture, they were able to actually audition for it. Michael was offered the role of Jacob Kowalski. Michael actually really wanted to do the role, but he had a scheduling conflict with another role he was given in the Lego Batman movie. He ended up taking the role in the Lego movie and gave up his role to Dan Fogler. At the end of the series, when trying to cast Helena Ravenclaw, Kate Winslet was always the first choice. Helena Ravenclaw played a major role in helping bring down Lord Voldemort, so it was important she had a lasting presence on screen. Similar to how things went with Naomi Watts, Kate Winslet's agent also rejected the role on her behalf. Kate never even got the chance to consider it. Christopher Lee has a ton of major roles under his belt, including Saruman in The Lord of the Rings and Count Dooku in the Star Wars prequels. Are you surprised to find out Harry Potter was also on that long list of achievements as well? He was another actor who was considered to take over for Richard Harris as Dumbledore, but ultimately ended up turning it down because of the unsettling gossip that was around the casting for the role. Can't say I blame him for that one. Were you shocked at the Harry Potter series that almost was? Now every time I see Hagrid or Narcissa Malfoy, I'll always try and picture Robin Williams or Naomi Watts. Who would you be most excited to see in Harry Potter?